oftentimes the challenge we have in this community that I've noticed is the fact that most people are just less concerned. They just want to assume that I don't know why it's not happening, but I know someone that's taking something, I know someone that's meeting somebody to do something for them, or meet a lady that will massage their stomach, or meet a man that knows how to produce local drugs to help them conceive. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're just meeting me, I'll see my face for the first time. I am Sophie McAnnie. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we have each other. I'm glad we found each other. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe, like, comment, share. This week I'll be taking you on how I knew something was wrong and I thought it's hard time I started seeing the doctor. Initially I didn't know there was a problem, but at some point I knew like something wasn't right. Even though in our mind we knew that we weren't ready to start having children yet, but I just felt like something wasn't right. But even if I wasn't ready, but at least something would have happened. And then I started visiting clinics. I started off, the doctor was like, "You're still young, so why get yourself so worried?" And I'm like, it's not about the age, but I did some procedures, I did some scans, result came back, seemed like everything was okay, everything seemed to be doing okay with me, everything seemed to be okay with my husband. At that point, we weren't going to do anything together. I was just the one going and stuff. It got to a point where my periods were really painful, extremely painful. Like I had to go to the clinic to get injected or given some kind of drugs to, feel okay. It was really that, I did follicular tracking, like times where I had to track to ensure that, or maybe I'm ovulating, to see if I'm ovulating, and girl, it wasn't funny. I did a lot of procedures. I know many of you must have tried them. I did a lot of procedures. It wasn't a joke. At some point, I had a urinary tract infection, UTI, that I was told that the infection was already close to my kidney. So at that point, I should stop anything trying to conceive, because being pregnant with this infection wouldn't make sense. So because it would actually be dangerous for my health, so I should calm down with trying to conceive. So it took us like a year plus, and you know how stubborn UTI can be. At some point, my doctor told me, "Girl, if I get done with this particular doses of antibiotics, I don't think there's anything I'm going to do again. I just think you just have to, try to program your mind to manage yourself with this, because we tried all the antibiotics we knew. So at that point, we're going in and out of the clinic. God, days you just allowed me. Days it makes me feverish. Days it makes me feel like I was really, really sick. Up until it got to a point I was like, okay, at this point I am done. Anything that want to happen, I stopped. And over time, my system started going back. My body started healing itself, and I became okay. We started off trying to conceive again. Nothing seemed to be working. Nothing. Fast forward to 2 years later, we started off trying again. I would go to the clinic and they'll tell me, "Oh, it seemed like you didn't ovulate last month." At some point, my hormonal levels weren't so good. Level was high, progesterone low. Times it was supposed to be high. So I had hyperprolactinemia. I was kept on Bromagon, gabagoline for a very long time. My husband did sperm analysis, and all the results came back okay. All the results I did came back all right, and everything seemed to be fine. But what was happening? Why was I not catching? That was something I couldn't understand. So fast forward, I started follicular tracking, and everything this month showed that I was having an anovulatory cycle. I wasn't ovulating, and nothing seemed to be working. I was really devastated. Girl, I cried. I broke down. I became really depressed. Oftentimes I wear makeup and I go for events. I do my business, but yet I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't happy. I come back home and I feel less of myself. I feel like there was something, my body was failing me, or there was something that wasn't just going on well. How about the times where I started having pregnancy symptoms, where my boobs were heavy, my whole body, I was craving, all the signs a pregnant person will have, I started having them. At the end of the day, I had what they call premium heartbreak. Period just shows up when you feel like, okay, you feel like I'm pregnant this month, and period just shows up. There are days where I'll break down and cry. So days I want to close my door, I want to shout, I want to wail. It was crazy. Prior before this time, I wasn't this weighty. I started taking hormonal drugs. I started adding weight. At some point, someone saw me and said, "You look so much like my classmate." And I'm looking at her because I know her, and I was like, "She looks so much like my classmate Sophie." And I'm like, okay. I couldn't even stand telling her I was the one because I really felt embarrassed. Or is it times where people go to tell me I don't know what it feels like to have children because I've never had one before? Is it some spiting kind of statement people say to my face just because kids aren't there yet? Or is it times where people don't say things in front of me because they felt like I can't relate? There's so many traumas that comes with trying to conceive. My infertility at some point was unexplained. Was really unexplained because we couldn't tell what the problem was. So all the time I was going to the clinic, nobody told me anything. I just felt what was going on. But I noticed there was something that was different that I wasn't feeling before, and that's the fact that I felt my womb twitch. My womb twitches most times when I'm scared, jumps for fear, leaps for joy. Instead of you saying, "Oh, I have joy in my heart," or "My mind is skipping," I feel like it's happening beyond my abdomen. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was a sign of anxiety. I did not know. Up until the time where I got really suicidal. At some point, I just felt there was no point I was here. There was no point for me leaving. There was no point I was doing whatever I wanted to do. And I started off therapy. Therapy, I got diagnosed of GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, anxiety neurosis. Then I knew there was a problem. Because there are days could go by, I wouldn't sleep. The days could go by, I'll be worried sick. When I think about anything I want to do, I get worried sick. And it got to a point where the symptoms became physical, like having physical symptoms where I have pinprick in my palm, pains under my feet, bone and joint ache, and all of that. My mental health was playing a bigger role because I had a post-traumatic stress as a child, and it wasn't properly tackled. I didn't even know it would even have any effect on my reproductive health. Who would have thought that your mental health will affect your reproductive health? I stood firm on the word of God and the promises He had for me. I held on. I started off affirmations, started telling myself I'm worthy, telling myself I'm beautiful, started telling myself I am the best me that I've ever existed, and no one would have handled my journey as well as I have handled my journey. I hated myself. I didn't like the way I looked. I felt I was looking so big. I felt I was so fat. I couldn't even stand wearing sleeveless. I couldn't stand my new size. But now I'm glad that I am where I am right now. I've embraced my journey and I'm trying to make out the most out of it. I am healing. I told myself that I was going to do this no matter what it takes. I cannot overemphasize the importance of having a very supportive spouse in this journey of trying to conceive. But your spouse gets to understand that this journey is not just you alone, but the both of you. It was more than enough for me. Like, I just knew, like, I found succor here and I was comfortable. I remain ever grateful to God. When trying to conceive, it's important to realize that you're the best of you that has ever existed. And do not let any form of external pressure make you feel less of yourself. The most important thing, the only person you should be concerned about is your spouse. It's not about external factor, family trying to pressurize you or anything. They aren't living with you. So in summary, I went to the clinic. I knew something was wrong. I knew there was something I needed to check. I did all I needed to do. I cannot overemphasize the importance of the God factor. In every step I was taking, I got God involved. I was praying and I was like, God, I don't want to where I have errors where I'm trying to get a solution to whatever is wrong with me. God, I needed you to just go in front of me and make every crooked path straight. And I'm grateful to God that all the procedures I did, there wasn't an issue at all. Like HSG was, my tubes were opened. The tubation, the hydrotubation, my tubes were opened. For everyone I did, that some I can't even remember, everything was okay. There wasn't an error. I kept praying to God, I don't want an error, that would complicate the issues on ground already. And at the end of the day, I'm grateful to God that we're able to understand that it was a mental health thing, an anxiety thing causing the whole problem all along. I just want you to understand that if you're trying to conceive, do the part you need to do. medically. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Oh, go meet a man or a woman somewhere that will massage you. I'm not saying that those people don't know their jobs. Don't get me wrong, but it's okay to work with a gynecologist that could do scan and tell you this is what the problem is, rather than someone that will blindly touch your stomach and tell you things. You don't even know what they are doing. Do you understand? So learn to do that medically and pray to God the other part of the journey. Please, if you have any question, maybe I haven't touched an area or there's an area you feel like I've skipped, do well to ask your question in the comments and I will surely make a video and I'll reply you. If you're trying to conceive, you're in this community, battling with your mental health, battling with the struggle with trying to conceive, I just want to know that I see you. I'm here rooting for you. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Drop your question in the comment section and I will be glad to respond. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.